you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and as y'all probably know, we have a speaker in the house. We are currently under a President Trump speech. So, yeah, not much to expect right now. Morning, Max, Chris, Jay, Steph, Will, Greasy. I am Wally. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, y'all. All right, let's see what happens today. I haven't even pulled up where he's speaking, and I'm actually running a little behind on my analysis and stuff. So, full disclosure, I have to say this because I am monitoring the situation, and I won't be surprised, but I might have to hop off a little early today. There's some things going on that I need to tend to in the Apex world, so I may have to jump off of here. So I'm just giving you a heads up. But let's see what we have going on here. Let's check it out. All right. Let's check it out. So on the daily chart, going back here, we did get that expansion down. We do have a volume imbalance here, which is the new week opening gap. We did close down, and we'll see if we leave this open today or if we try to work our way up into it or not. Like I said yesterday, I'm really not expecting us to really make our way up here in the early mid part of the week. I don't know if we will this week or not, but if we do make our way up, I think it would be Thursday, Friday, just based on the weekly profile. But that may not, if we're going to continue being bearish, then obviously that's different. We still have this volume imbalance here, but I included it up to this wick because it's not necessarily a fair value gap because there's only very little space in there. But because there is space, you got to include the volume balance. I want to see what happens in that if we come down to there. The 4-hour chart, I really didn't have much different than yesterday. Just this little bit of movement here, and we're in this BISI over here still. So didn't really have much else there. The 1 hour, we're still in this same movement. Yesterday we came up here, made pretty much relative equal highs there. And then I noticed this yesterday when the market closed. We left this sell side liquidity. So now we pulled back up into this 1 hour fair value gap, and we ran that sell side liquidity. And since we ran that sell side liquidity, we did have this 1 hour fair value gap, which is going to, in 31 minutes, become an inversion. We are taking this swing high, so we may be looking at a 1 hour market structure shift here where we're taking this high, have this imbalance, ran this sell side liquidity, and we see if we want to make our way up here. That's the 1 hour chart. So being that that's the 1 hour chart, that just kind of gives me my potential bias for the day. But y'all know the 15-minute chart is basically where I get everything else, like my basically where my trade comes from, right? So we did have this yesterday afternoon session high right here. Then we have the London range. And let's get rid of this. And same thing on the 15-minute. We ran down, had this fair value gap, created an inversion, failure swing down here. Now we're expanding up. Now this happened when Trump started talking. So we got to be careful in case if, this is just all based on whatever he's saying, because I haven't been listening. So we have a new day opening gap right here. The lower half of this London range, we have this 15-minute fair value gap that's forming there. We just ran this London high, and we have that 1 hour fair value gap. We have this 15-minute one here. So we'll see if we can get past this area. Basically, that's what I'm looking at for the morning. I'm looking to see if we can get past this area, If so, are we going to make our way up there? Okay, so this pullback into this 15-minute fair value gap, we'll see what happens there, and then if we'll just keep kind of making our way up today or not. Pretty much what I'm looking at. Now, I did not get a chance to throw in my 8:30 opening price, which is there. And then we have the midnight, which is there. Midnight opening price. All right, so now we were at the 8:30. Now we're above the midnight opening price at the moment on the 5-minute. Just kind of glancing here. I'm not seeing much in terms of relative equal lows, relative equal highs at the moment. I mean, yeah. Just going to have to kind of monitor this and see what happens. See what happens with this talk, and just not expecting too much here. So the market is open now. Let's see if we have an opening range gap. We do. However, we are already. So we have our open, our close there. And we've already traded down through it, but I'm going to leave it there. See what happens. Morning, Ayo, Enrico. Yeah, he's still talking, so we'll see. I'm not going to be in any hurry, but like I said, I may have a meeting that I have to. May have to tend to some stuff here and hop off just in case. All right, now let me pull up, see if I can find where he's talking. Because the financial juice, what's it called? Feed is delayed by like 3 minutes. So, yeah, Max, that's basically what I'm doing. Because here's the problem. You can read it right, and everything can look perfect, and you enter a trade, and he says one thing that can be the end of that trade very quick. Okay, yeah, it looks like I found it. And basically, I'm going to have it playing on the side, and I really don't care much as far as trading, like what he says. I care more about knowing when he's done. Because, yeah. And that's the problem, y'all. So, like, he can sit here and he might go on for another hour, another 2 hours. And, yeah. And that'll suck for us sitting here waiting on a trade. So, man, and if you look at the chat here, let me see. YouTube, don't ban me for showing this or censor me or whatever. But look at the chat here, y'all. All the emojis and spammers. It's hilarious. So, yeah. That's, Some of them are funny, though. I just look at the chat and it's like, man, so many people trolling, so many people not a clue. Only stupid people don't understand what he's talking about, showing you IQ. Looking at these comments. That person keeps over and over. Epstein files, Epstein files. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't get people. Gold, 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 buy gold. Dang, look at this. All right. Oh, man. Nothing, y'all, nothing is going to happen here until he is done. And that's, like, I didn't want to not stream today because here's what would have happened if I would have said, you know what, Trump's talking at 8:30 in the morning. He may not be done by the open. I'm not going to stream today. Well, he would have been done by, like, 9:30. And I would be like, man, crap, I could have streamed. However, me just acting like a normal day, he's probably going to talk till noon. AO. All right, so AO is asking if I'm pro-Trump or anti-Trump. That's so how do I say this? I don't want to say it's a loaded question because it's a simple question, but the answer is not simple. And what I mean by that is because as a person that has studied, I am not political. Let's say that. Let me start by saying that. I'm not a political person. However, politics play a role in a lot. Politics, to me, I hate politics. I'm a person that I look at every angle of everything, no matter what it is, not just politics, no matter what it is. I am an information seeker, and then I like to gather my own opinion on basically information. So I like to gather information from whatever, if it is, not just politics. Okay, not just politics. If it's anything I'm interested in, I like to gather information from sources from here, and come to my own conclusion. If y'all know Robert Kiyosaki, one thing that he says all the time, and one thing that I love from him, from what he says, is he says there's always three. There's three opinions, right? Well, basically you have three sides to every coin, is what he says. You have heads, tails, and the middle, right? So I like being in the middle. I like to gather information from one side, from the other side, and I'll lean different ways. But as a studier of macroeconomics for a long time, like I love looking at the macro, you have to take politics out of it. You just have to. Because politics is going to, the whole game of, and I personally know people in politics and like personally know them, and I get a lot of information for how the game is played. And trust me, it's a game. You're always trying to get voters and sway voters. So both sides in politics, Republicans and Democrats, are always using tactics to sway voters. So you have to get past that, and you have to see through all of that. So, and you have to take the person out of it, right? So people say, well, this person is not presidential like. Well, what is presidential like? The entire world has changed, right? Like how we are as a society has changed. social media, everything, things are more exposed. So is there a certain way a president needs to be anymore? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. But taking the political side out, the personal side out, looking, I am more towards in agreement with most things that he does do. So does that make me for Trump? Right now, yes, because there's nothing else that aligns more macro with, you know, how I align. But do I agree with everything he does? Absolutely not. You can't, and that's the thing. People get too caught up in believing everything somebody does is correct or everything somebody does is incorrect, and they get emotions and feelings too tied up. That's my answer. And that's why I say it's not just a simple yes or no of, hey, are you for this person or for that person or not for that person? Because if you just ask somebody yes or no, I mean, it can just be, there could be a million reasons why yes or no. And actually there could be a lot of reason, like people might not have a reason. They might just say, I liked what that person looked like last week, or I don't like the way, you know, he's orange all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Creasy said like a true politician. Yeah. Answer, you never directly answer the question. Cream cheese, what's up? Yeah. I used to think so, like before, so I didn't really get into politics much. Like I said, I'm not into politics. I'm more into like world economic stuff, right? And what truly runs the world in economics and all that. But I didn't really start getting involved in that until, so I got into finance in 2008. The best time, right? So that was interesting. I got into finance as a career, as a profession back then. And then as I started learning, I started realizing that, like, yeah, politics will play into it. And so, like, in the beginning, like 2012, 13, I was like, man, that would be kind of cool to get into politics. And as I learned more and more and more, I'm like, politics is not even really about, there's like so much game into it that has nothing to do with anything about people, about helping, about like really stuff that matters. I was like, there ain't no way. Zero way. Forget that. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I mean, hey, everybody that watches and subscribes, I really appreciate it. Man, it's like snowballing, to be honest. And I just checked this morning, and I sent Chris a image of it because I was kind of like, wow, look at this. Over the last 28 days, I've had almost 16,000 views, and like over 500 hours watched a video on my channel. Almost 2,000, 1.8, 1,800 subscribers. So, like, man, I appreciate everybody for sure. So, hit that like button. What else can we talk about? Thanks, Will. Hey, and you know, it's all y'all. And I'm really, like I said, I don't, my main goal has always been helping traders. When I got started, that's what it was all about. That's what the Apex Sniper system was about. Helping traders helping traders. And social media, X in particular, like I try to post on there, and to be honest, y'all, man, I can't stand being on X because I try to follow a lot of traders and like get that algorithm for X to show me trading stuff. And basically my X feed is just literally like political even though I hate politics, like economists and stuff and traders. And it is so freaking toxic. Man, I hate just like, I get a headache going on to X and seeing all this stuff people are posting about, like the traders. These people are dumb. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. If y'all are on, not y'all, but let me say influencers. Let me say influencers, not regular people. Influencers. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. If you're an influencer and you see this, it may not be about you. But man, it is. Max, hey, I got Max's vote. Cool. You used to work on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I'm not a fan of politics. Yeah, it's something, man. And it's crazy because I've known a few people personally that I grew up with, and actually, my brother-in-law is pretty deep in politics right now. He's in Washington a lot. He's met personally with President Trump. It's pretty cool to hear the stories and all that. And I've known some people get into even local politics with great intentions, not politicians. And as soon as they get in, it's like they either say, man, all right, we have to adjust and tweak our campaign a little bit because you have to play the game to some extent, or they fall out because they're like, nah, I'm not doing that. It's dirty. Nightbot. Yeah, Nightbot's coming with me. Yeah, Will, there's a lot of bribes. And you get when you're trying to, I mean, y'all probably know this, but when you're trying to raise funds, you get those big donors coming in like, you need how much? Oh yeah, I could do that. But here's this thing I've been trying to work on. So there's your favor system. It's like the mafia. I always used to like to watch like mafia documentaries and stuff. And, that's why you see some of the stories of some mobsters that were like responsible for Kennedy getting in office and stuff like that. Like, it's, man, it is interesting. The politics is like the mob. It's literally a legal mafia. Ooh. Hey, Erlen, welcome in. We're just talking about random stuff because Trump is still speaking at the World Economic Forum meeting and Davos, and it's we're literally not touching anything until he's done, which could be in 5 minutes or could be in 5 hours. So let's see here. Oh, crap. Clicked the wrong button. Yeah, so this may be a boring day, unfortunately. Unless y'all got anything else interesting to talk about. Hey, this is open discussion today. We're open for talks here. Which, by the way, has anybody been following the whole silver stuff going on? Like I called that thing a while back. I didn't know exactly how that was going to happen, but back in December, I put some options on in this low $60 because I was like, man, this thing's going to 100. But yeah, what's crazy is because and people were like going crazy on copper. Have y'all seen that? You literally cannot buy copper bullion at all, like literally at all. Yeah, so I'm a big silver. I told you always been a silver and gold bug for like forever, but like even back when it was like 12 cents an ounce. I mean 12 cents, $12 an ounce, 12 cents an ounce. I wish it was like 10, 12. I first started getting into it when it was about $8 an ounce of silver, but man, copper is like, yeah, that's the thing. When you see everybody, same thing with crypto. It's like, okay, I'm watching this, and when you start seeing random people, like someone's grandmother saying, "Should I start buying silver?" Okay, time to get out, not get out, but just like pause. However, silver's a crazy situation though right now. Silver is definitely a different anomaly happening, but the copper thing. Copper bullion is not like silver and gold. So, and people are buying this copper bullion at like $6 an ounce when copper is priced in pound. So they're like, because there's a difference, right? Like raw copper, if you go buy it at the hardware store, that's like more of like the true value of copper. But the copper bullion, it's not necessarily a store of value like silver or a hedge to the dollar, like silver and gold. So I think influencers and people are just like created this run on copper right now, copper bullion, which is crazy. It looks like he's still talking. He's got a Q&A going, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, he's still, until he's like gone. I'm not touching it. Yeah, taking questions. And that's usually with Powell anyways, his actual speech will kind of get the market in this weird phase, and then as soon as he starts taking questions, that thing is going to do something else. Let's see. Checking on a couple things here. Here, I'll link. I'll link this one that I'm watching here for you guys. That's the link I'm watching. I don't even know what channel this is. What channel is it? Oh, it's the World Economic Forum channel. Which, if you subscribe to them, that channel, and watch some of their videos, that's who's really running the world. Yeah, tariff war will definitely rock the markets. Remember last March? Last March when the tariffs came out, that market was. I had a great month that month, last March. That actually sparked my whole run for the year. I wonder if y'all can. Let's see. Can y'all hear it if I unmute him? Can y'all hear that? Oh, yeah, because it's just the microphone picking it up. Let's see. I bet you'll hear it now. Hold on.
Agitators and, professional insurrectionists. That's what they are. They're professional troublemakers. But we are looking very strong at the money too in Minnesota and other places.
I think, Mr. President, also the 500 billion US dollars invested in artificial intelligence and the frontier technologies last year also were driving growth exponentially.
I don't plan on having that run and listen as a group, but I was just curious as to if you could hear it or not. But there's a little setting. I had my desktop audio off, and I had to turn it on. So. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, you see, so we did run down into this 15-minute fair value gap. Made our way up right here. This could have been an entry, but like I say, I'm just not I'm not willing to risk it. Right there, you see? We had it pull back into that 15-minute fair value gap. And a little bit of a, could have had an entry. Probably. Right in there. Nice little stop, 25 points or so. But, like I said, I'm not risking that. Yeah, we have 10 a.m. news as well. We'll see what happens there. Yep, here we go. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. See if anything happens. Yeah, there we go. I need to change the here, let's do that. I don't know if I could change. I think I could change it while I'm live. I've never tried to change the title while I'm live, but I think I can. There we go. Trump at WEF while trading live. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ayo. However, not really trading. Oh boy. Tomorrow, last day for this current sell. Right? Trade the Trump news. Oh man, look, I got a little glitch in my data here. Let me refresh. If I keep saying Trump during the live stream, Trump, maybe it'll pop the algorithm. Trump, World Economic Forum. That'd be hilarious. Like, hey, welcome 500 people, 600 people, 1,000 people. I haven't taken a trade, and I'm probably not. Reminder, I won't be trading live on Friday. I have something I have to take care of Friday. So I will not be able to trade live. And then we do have FOMC next Wednesday, so that's also a day I don't trade. All right, well. Well. All right. Let's watch this one. At this point, I do believe we're going to keep going up, but let's watch it. Let's see what happens. We hit it right there. I don't think so, but has anybody taken a trade? You did take one off the 952 one? Nice. Was that the one that I was talking about earlier? Yep. Sweet. That one actually was pretty low risk with the stop. What'd you have, like a 15, 17 point stop or something on that one? Which, by the way, I forgot. I'm going to 2 minis on my live account here. Perfect. Man, that's, yeah. Will and I have always been pretty aligned with how we've traded and how we manage trades and how we see the market. We've just, you know, not not on the 15-second confirmation because that's his thing that he created. But other than that, that's been pretty aligned. So that's exactly what I would have done too. 15-point stop, 40-point target hit. Perfect. That's beautiful. Yep. Move to break even after it hits that, when it goes into that 15-minute fair value gap. Yep. I'm actually considering this one here. If we could stay. Yeah, that one down there was pretty nice. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that 5-minute fair value gap, Chris. I'd be more watching the creation of this 15-minute one right here in the next 4-5 minutes and see if we pull into this and then go long. Because you got to remember, timing is everything. When things are supposed to happen, time and price. So like it's 10:10 now. So what might happen is it pull back, create that 15-minute fair value gap until about that 10:21, and then we'll see it continue up. Yeah, looks like he's done. There we go. Thank you for joining. Hit the X on that one. And then let's find our opening range here. Here's 10 a.m. So we're going to have that. 9:30. So this is going to be our low. Oops. Our low. It's our high. Opening range. Ah, I did that backwards. I always mess that up. Okay. High. Low. Well, it's because, oh, actually, I know why I did it that way. To draw out deviations, I have to do it this way. It's our opening range, and let's go with deviations here. There we go. So here's the midpoint of our opening range right here. And then the 0.5 deviation just above that buy side liquidity I had, and the -1 would be right up here if we do continue up. However, I would wait until after 10:15 and see if we get a pull into that 15-minute fair value gap. So let's clear this stuff. We are above that 1 hour one. I'm not concerned about it. Yeah, exactly, Will. That's a reason why I was mentioning that, because I'm not looking at this 5-minute fair value gap right here. Yeah, it may pull into it, it may keep going, but look at all of this here. You got this, so like 3 in a row, and which is gonna, 5 times 3 is 15. You're gonna get a 15-minute fair value gap there. So before, oftentimes, that's what I, kind of keep talking about, is when we get that 15-minute fair value gap, it doesn't always just keep going. Like it could, but what happen oftentimes is it'll pull back into it and then keep going. So if I see the potential of a 15-minute fair value gap, I don't want to go long, especially if it's in the next 40 seconds. I don't want to go long yet because it could create this here and then come back into it, especially since we have our opening range there. We're still inside the opening range. It could come back into it, maybe even hit the midpoint of it, and then continue up. So that's how sometimes, taking a long when it pulls back, like after it's already had this run, can get you in trouble. Not always, but it can. So basically what I would like to see here is if we come down, if we do make our way down to this 15-minute fair value gap, I would actually like to see a fair value gap form a SIBI. Why? Like somewhere. Like let's say it starts coming down and it forms a SIBI in here. I would not short that. I would be looking for that to become an inversion. So I would want to see this become an inversion. That way we go through it, displacing with the new fair value gap, use it as an inversion, and continue up. That's what I would be looking for. If I see that happen in this 15-minute fair value gap, yeah, that's my signal to go that we're going to go long. However, if that same thing happens and it pulls up into that SIBI and just keeps going down, well, then I know we're not going up. Yep. That's exactly my next point there is that because I'm saying that, it doesn't mean that's going to happen and it has to come into that 15-minute fair value gap. If we displace up with another BISI here, that could be another signal that, okay, we're not going to pull back right now. We're going to keep expanding up, and I could look for a long up to that buy side liquidity. Yep. So we'll see. If we get a BISI in here, then I could look for a long through this buy side liquidity. Now you got to remember though, we have this new week opening gap in here. I mean, yes, it's an older one, but it could still, be used. And here's that 0.5 deviation right above that buy side liquidity. This is not a fair value gap yet. I'm just marking it here in case if it forms. And I don't have time. I don't like how small it is though. 350, 250. I mean, I guess it's 7 points. Okay. It just looked smaller. Let's see if we get anything here. I don't love this fair value gap, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't like that. Now, it could be pulling back to here first. We'll see. Because now we're outside of the opening range. Here's that line I marked. So overshooting to come down into this area, hit that opening range again. So this will be interesting to see if we come back into the opening range to come back into this 15-minute fair value gap or not. One minute till 10:21. Oh, we had a little fair value gap right here as well. There's probably going to be a 2-minute fair value gap. See, I missed this one. Ooh, that's a suspension block. It's a little suspension block right there. I didn't even notice that. See what happens. About to be 10:21. Now, what you could do, because this could be forming a little bit of a breaker here, a bearish breaker, but I don't think it'll run much lower than this 260 area, if you got a short up in this higher, like there's enough room to run it short into the 15-minute fair value gap. And I've done that plenty of times as well, where I'm like, okay, there's a 15-minute fair value gap somewhere, and there's enough, and price ran high enough to where if it does give a short back to it, I've done that plenty of times. Even though the closer it gets, the less room I have, and I'm definitely not trying to force anything. So we'll see. We're still inside this suspension block here. Now, this potential order block, let's see if this is going to be an order block, if it's going to hold up in this area. This upper half of these two down close candles. Yeah, exactly, Will. On something like that, if I shorted counter trend to get to this 15-minute fair value gap, I would definitely move to break even sooner than, little sooner than normal. But I would for sure have to have a clear market structure shift. And at this point, I wouldn't have a market structure shift that I like until it takes this low, or if it comes back up, it makes a higher high and then takes this low like that. So probably not going to get a short, but just like as an example, those are things I kind of look for. But we're still staying in the upper half of this suspension block here. I don't love that this is an inversion, but see if we get past that and create a new one, new fair value gap. Just because it got a little messy inside the suspension block, like there's not really, I wouldn't really be looking for a trade out of it. I mean, you could, but the way we're expanding up now, if we get a fair value gap in here, I'd be more interested in taking a long if there's a new BISI form. I would like to see this high taken first and then come back to it, but I don't want this to be a failure swing and reversal. You know, 1021 disappointed me today. Here's 1021, this candle right here. All right. We have slowed our roll. Or if we do come up and like make some relative equal highs here and then come down into it, then that's fine. I just didn't want it to like come down here, be here, and have a failure swing and go through. All right, and you got to watch and make sure we don't get a Sibby in here either. Oh, that's how you're going to do it, huh? You're going to get like a couple ticks away. 347.75. That low is, yeah, 3 ticks away. Yeah, if you would have held on to that first one, that would have been nice. Well, you would have had to, I guess, hold through this little, what, 340 down to about 45-point pullback there. All right, well, you're going to get 3 ticks away from that Bissy, huh? No, I agree. That's why I don't like holding through big pullbacks like that. All right, so we took this high now. I don't know that we come back down here. I don't like. Wanted to go look for a long right in here, but hey, rules are rules. If it's not in that fair value gap, if it doesn't touch it, I can't take it. No touch, no take. Precision. Precision. Because sometimes that'll be the difference between a win and a loss. You start taking them when they're 3 ticks away, then all of a sudden you got your stop somewhere in here and it just rocks, goes straight through, not hits your stop. Suspension block held nice, but there wasn't really a entry in there. I mean, there could have been, but really thought we'd pull into this Bissy if we created one. Yeah, that's mainly why, Will, I didn't take it because, yeah, when I went to the 15-second chart, like you can see, look at it just kind of accumulated a little bit. Even though the 1-minute chart looked good, I didn't really like this. I don't know. I just didn't like it. And then you could say, well, let's, see if it comes out of here. Take it like here, which in hindsight, yeah, that would have worked. But as I was watching, it looked like we were going to get a Sibby here. I'm sorry, a Bissy here. So that's why I was waiting on it, and I was pretty sure we would come back into it. But, oh well. And you can see, though, look at those market. If you mark like a change in state of delivery on the 15-second chart, there's so many times you see it respect it. Even on that higher time frame, it'll be like a swing low or a wick. So like I marked this one, and you can see, go to the 1 minute, went right down to it, right there. Yeah, and this is going to just like slowly creep up, it looks like, and hit that area. At this point, there's probably nothing for me. And it's probably just going to run up there. And now, once it takes... Now, I'm not going to be here for this probably, because it may be... I don't know if it'll be in the morning. Maybe afternoon. Who knows? But at some point, it's got to pull back to a 15-minute fair value gap. Like, we know that's true. So, in 11 minutes, we'll have another one form here. But if this one doesn't form... then we have this lower one. So what will likely happen is once we get through this area that I had marked out here, we're going to get through it. And then that's whenever it'll probably pull back to a 15-minute fair value gap, whether this one is formed or this one down here. So it'll probably pull back. And then if it's going to remain bullish, continue up. But we'll see. So unfortunately, there's not going to be a trade for me. And here's that new week opening gap, the 119, the big one. So I think we're going to keep, we're going to head into that. It's just I'm not going to be able to get a trade. And at this point, like any Bissy in here, like any of this for me now, it's too high. Like I can't take it risking a pullback to one of those 15-minute fair value gaps. Like I need my trade in the run to either the draw on liquidity, right? Either to the draw on liquidity, or if I had a clear, market structure shift fair value gap that I could take to that 15-minute fair value gap. If neither one of those happens, then I get a big no trade. So, and because of that, that's going to be the end of my stream here. So, I used to, because that's a big psychological level. And before I really started trading like how I'm trading now, I used to always look at, there's double zeros, there's triple zeros. But then there'd be so many times where it just like, yeah, you'd see, okay, obviously that level matters. And then there'd be so many times where I'm like, man, that level didn't matter at all. Why not today? Well, since I've been trading the way I've been trading and looking at liquidity imbalances and everything else with these concepts, why did it not stop here at 400? Because right above it, we have the draw on liquidity, that buy side liquidity there. I'm preaching to the choir. I know I know why we have things. But since I've gotten so comfortable and knowing where and why and with a high probability that the market should be going to, my mind doesn't even look at those double zeros and triple zeros anymore. I don't know. Nice, Munch. You got partial long profit. Good. That's awesome. Awesome job. Yep. Well, thanks, Max. Yeah, it was you know, I don't have to take a trade for it to be a good day. Like I say, my number one, still to this day, my number one priority, like what I care about the most is, did I get the read right? Did I get the market right? Did the things that I'm looking for and marking out, liquidity and balances, different things, did the market draw to it? Am I correct in my analysis? And, if that lines up day in and day out, it's only a matter of time. You're going to get the good trades, right? You're going to get the entries, and not all entries. You could be right on the day, and that doesn't mean your entry and your trade is going to be right. But that's the probabilities, right? You just got to play the probabilities and just keep doing it day in, day out. And, don't get discouraged whenever you get on a losing streak like I was at the beginning of the year. Because there's, and I've mentioned this to a few people that I've talked to. There's a great book that I love. It's called Peaks and Valleys. And it talks about how in life, in anything you're doing, there's always going to be peaks and there's always going to be valleys. You can't get too high when the going's good. Can't get too low whenever it's bad, because it's going to be peaks and valleys. So you always just got to, your goal is to sustain those peaks and valleys, like survive them and keep going. And, it'll balance out. So as long as you keep your money management, it'll balance out. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to hop off of here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're going to keep trading, use caution, be patient, and as always, trade well, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hit that thumbs up button for me, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.